All right. Trying to check and make sure some audio is going. We'll see here in a second. Man, there's been a lot going on in this world. I just want to share some crazy stuff with y'all. Why kind of some of the things that kind of frame my mind, the way I kind of think sometimes. And just when it involves politics and all that crazy stuff, it's like it's all a game, and it's some really crafty trickery going on with a lot of things. And I know a lot of stuff seems like conspiracy and all of that. And I know some stuff can really, really go really far, too far, like arm stretch. I forget the guy's name, but we can go overboard and just be reaching for something that really ain't there. So that is not my approach here. I just want to share with you, you know, just a little bit, and you make your own judgment, you know. But at the same time, I don't have it all. I'm not gonna act like I got it all. But let me show you this. Hold on. Still trying to see if there's some feedback. Let me show you this. Okay, yeah, we're getting audio. All right, we're good. So what I do want to show you is it's a it's a game. I remember I had a friend back in the days that had revealed this to me back in the '90s, and long story short, let me see here. Try to get, should have had this already ready. I don't want to get stuck on me. Let me see. I got started over. Okay, okay, but yeah, name of the game. Let me get back and get focused here. The name of that game is called the Illuminati. Yeah, I know. Well, you click it off. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Now, look, in this game, there was different cards in there, and you was trying to take over the world with this card game. And the different things that were being used to take over the world is what was very intriguing. And then I came across it again back sometime in 2000, and I'd say around 2008, maybe 2007. That's kind of like around when the word Illuminati started really going around. And even with that, we were like, they were doing that on purpose, and there was a lot of talk of New World Order at that time too, in which I might go pull one of those videos up for y'all. We'll see. But hey, look, this is for review. I want y'all to pay attention to what's going on in this, what they're talking about, and just hear it out real quick.
The Illuminati card game was released in 1994, but some of the images on the cards have pretty eerie similarities to current events, and the internet is buzzing about it. Let's find out why.
Back in 1994, Steve Jackson released a card game called Illuminati New World Order, inspired by his original box game Illuminati, which was based off of the 1975 book The Illuminati's Trilogy, written by Robert Alton Wilson and Robert Shea. And of course, the world went wild.
Y'all see that, right? Look at that. It's just that left one to the left is like, this is like the three, what is that? Lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. But it's all starting with the eye. Hey, this is just stuff that's already been here, you know?
Wild. In the introduction to the rulebook of the game, Robert Shea, author of the book that inspired the whole thing, wrote, "Maybe the Illuminati are behind this game. They must be. They are, by definition, behind everything."
I agree.
According to the rulebook, the game can be played by 2 to 8 players, and depending on the number of players, it could take anywhere between 1 to 6 hours to complete. Or, according to conspiracy theorists, it could take the rest of your life. Why? Well, because it appears as though each card played in the game was actually a premonition of something terrible to come in the year.
See, this is what I was talking about. So you would use one of these cards to kind of implement whatever your plan was. It was crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's stuff already in the game that is happening today. So when I see things, I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, I've seen this already." Just let me let y'all finish looking. Hold on. We got 10 minutes.
Years that followed the release of the game. And by the years that followed, I mean from the day the game was released until now and presumably beyond. The cards, thought up in the early 90s, seem to depict then outlandish fantasies, but today very real, tragic, and terrifying events that have taken place or are currently taking place or will take place around the world. Perhaps Robert Shea was right. Also, if you're watching this, you just lost the game.
Aside from all the ominous card games in this game, which we're gonna get to, there's another reason why people are talking about it online right now. They were raided by the Secret Service, and for a game centered on controversial conspiracies, it definitely gets people thinking. So back on March 1st of 1990, the Secret Service rolled into the offices of Steve Jackson Games in Austin, Texas. They swooped in and took a bunch of hard drives and documents, some of which were about the board game they were making. Now, your first thought might be that the government was trying to cover up some deep Illuminati secrets that the game was about to expose, but that wasn't actually the case. The real story is that one of the guys working at Steve Jackson Games, Lloyd Blankenship, was also a hacker, and he ran a message board that had posted some stolen files about how the 911 emergency system worked in the US. The Secret Service got a tip about this, got themselves a search warrant, and raided the place to get their hands on those files. So, still pretty interesting.
Perhaps one of the scariest cards included in the game back then would be the one where across the top, written in big bold letters, it reads, "Every year is worse." I say this is the scariest because seeing as we are currently looking down the barrel of a possible third world war, irreversible and detrimental climate change, and a global economic crisis, how the hell could things possibly get any worse? Let's see what the card has to say. The earth is degenerating today. Bribery and corruption abound. Children no longer obey their parents, and every man wants to write a book, and it is evident that the end of the world is fast approaching. That's unpleasant. But that's not all. The card is used to paralyze opponents in the game, and playing it requires Illuminati or liberal actions of power. I have to say, I'm not liking where this is going.
The internet's been
She don't like that. It's more talking about liberals. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, man. This whole debate stuff is an act. Okay? It's a whole act. Listen. This whole battle between republic and democracy, which side you're on, is a game that we shouldn't even be considering at all. We shouldn't even be playing this game. Not the intent in which we was presented with, even in the time when we became free, you know? So it's all a game, man. And I don't trust either side, if you ask me. because just watch the video.
Buzzing about this card called Enough is Enough. The image here is more abstract than a lot of the cards in the game, less in your face than some of the more bluntly violent or disturbing imagery that's used, but there is something oddly familiar about this picture, isn't there? Looks kind of like someone we all recognize. See it now? Yeah, it's pretty uncanny.
Man, look at that, man. Mm-mm-mm. Listen. I didn't make this up, sorry. I'm not making this up. They're not making it up. Great.
Actually. Sort of looks like the artist had illustrated the image directly from this photo of Trump, like he was posing for it. But again, this game came out in 1994, 2 decades before this photo was taken at the very least. It could be a total coincidence. The artist just, might have imagined a screaming dude who looked a lot like the former president, but...
Or he was like, hey, let me take a picture of you, and I want you to look this way. I don't know.
Look at the bottom of the card, part of which reads, "At any time, at any place, our weapons can drop you." The card is more descriptive with what those weapons are, but due to YouTube guidelines, I gotta make it more general. Point is, once again, this one feels...
Yeah, yeah.
that don't really give a rat's flying feather about the masses. New world order and global warming. Yep, it's pretty unpleasant, especially when you take into account that in the context of the game, the card is essentially played by a member of the Illuminati in an effort to change the way the entire world is structured, both geographically and politically and also socially. The card reads, how about some nice beachfront property in Kansas? Kansas, for those of you who don't know, Kansas is landlocked and about 1,066 miles away from its nearest coastline. The card also says, the seas rise, all currently coastal places lose 2 power and all non-coastal places become coastal. And to top it all off, there is a picture of the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building almost completely submerged underwater. If New York is on your bucket list, you might want to start planning your trip now. If you live there, I'm sorry.
So check out this card. Wonder why people have been talking about this one lately. Not only do you have a card titled Epidemic, but you have a very disconcerting image of all the hits from 2020 to 22. You have a face mask, a needle with some type of vaccine or medicine, a clear bottle of disinfectant, rubber gloves, even the word quarantine in big bold letters is plastered across the card. And to top it all off, it's hard to tell what those green shapes are in the background at first, but look a little closer and it's clear they're corpses in body bags. This is an attack card which can be used to destroy any place, as written at the bottom. It's not surprising that people look at this and have some pretty vivid flashbacks to the events that unfolded in 2020, and sure, the imagery here can be applied to pretty much any global disease outbreak, but it's the combination of everything here, especially with that word quarantine, that just makes it feel a little too close to home.
This next card is not great, and by that I mean it's really bad. It is the Terror Nuke card, and I think we can all agree what major event it appears to be depicting. The card reads, play this card at any time to give +10 power or +10 resistance to any violent group you control. If you believe the conspiracies regarding the devastating event that took place on September 11th of 2001, those words should literally terrify you, because it insinuates that the Illuminati were in control of whatever group did the terrible thing they did, which I cannot explicitly say because I don't want to get kicked off this platform. Now, I also want you to keep in mind the fact that these cards were illustrated and printed in 1994, 7 years before that.
We don't want to get kicked out. I was just saying, we just, speaking on what we have seen. Hold on, just for a little second, y'all. I want to take a little moment. Look, it's all a game. It's all a game. And you're going to have to choose a side, whether you like it or not. A lot of people don't believe in this. Some people believe in everything. There's so much diversity. Man, look, even the game talks about doing that. So when I see all these different ideas and people talking about the universe, and now we talking about manifesting, and we of Egypt, I'm like, yeah, they tricking y'all. And then I'll be telling the person, but they're looking at me like I don't understand what's going on. Ain't nothing I can do about that. Ain't nothing I can do about that, for real. But just be aware. Be aware. That's why, I do suggest start reading the Bible. I mean, if you really see the revelation, the end times and how it speaks on those times and how it would be, yeah, you look out your door, that's what you see. That's what you see for real. No joke.
Event took place. The artwork is uncanny. Still think the Illuminati isn't behind this card game? Maybe think again.
This is the moon-based card. People have been sharing this one around for a couple different reasons. For one, the card depicts what is clearly a man-made structure built on the moon. To some, this is just science fiction. To others, this card is just an illustration of something that actually exists. A secret base built on the moon, which might look like this. This image here was taken on one of the Apollo missions. It's often dubbed the castle. Looks a lot like the image on the card, doesn't it? So it's pretty clear that the artist took inspiration from this real-life image or the art on the card. But another reason people are talking about this one right now is because there are currently plans to set up a structure on the moon. The Artemis program is in full swing, planning a series of manned missions to the moon starting in 2026, which will be the first since Apollo 17 in 1972.
And then there is the Orbital Mind Lasers card. Yep, that's a real thing, kind of, in China. According to a report published by the Washington Times in July of 2023, China is currently in the midst of developing high-technology weapons designed to disrupt brain functions and influence government leaders or even entire populations. Yeah, we're doomed. And the Illuminati card game called it. The Orbital Mind Control Lasers card reads, by using lasers action you may add, remove, or reverse an alignment of any group in play. And the change will last for the rest of the player's turn. Which to me basically translates to, when the Illuminati decides it's China's time to shine, they will, until it's decided otherwise. Better start brushing up on your Mandarin now, because soon you might not have a choice.
Here's another card that feels like it's more of the zeitgeist of today than it was back in 1994. Here we see a dude clearly freaking out while wearing a pair of VR goggles. The card description features probably my favorite sentence in all the cards I've seen, reading, all over the world computers get weird. Combo the VR goggles and the computers bugging out thing definitely taps into our collective fears of computers and AI taking over. Like, sure, people worried about this sort of thing back then too, but never has this been more relevant than today. VR, artificial intelligence.
Listen. You already know. You already know. So really, we already see now that the VR glasses is a setup. It's a setup. It is a setup. Do I need to rewind it and play it again real quick? Matter of fact, I am. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna rewind it so y'all can hear what my man got to say.
My favorite sentence in all the cards I've seen, reading, all over the world computers get weird. Combo the VR goggles and the computers bugging out thing definitely taps into our collective fears of computers and AI taking over. Like, sure, people worried about this sort of thing back then too, but never has this been more relevant than today. VR, artificial intelligence, those were in the realm of science fiction for most people back then. Today, It's a reality. Let's just hope computers don't get weird in the near future. At least not any weirder than they already are. What a fun looking game. I want to get some of these cards. Some of the images are great.
They sell them on eBay for quite a
oh my God.
pretty,
They go for a lot.
especially the more dark and twisted ones. You guys, we hope you enjoyed this. Please stay safe and don't let the Illuminati get ya.
Catch you next time.
Cheers.
Got you next time, man. Hey, listen. Pay attention. Pay attention. That's all I'm gonna really say. When you are looking at politics and you see all these different battles and you see something like court cases of famous people going down for you know what type of crazy stuff, know there's something else going on. Don't just be so naive to the argument that's being presented, because all of that is intentionally to cause division. I mean, people will be happy to see a politician die just because they hate somebody that much. I mean, think about that. Nonetheless, man, I'm done here. You know, we're gonna go and bring it to an end, but I just wanted y'all to see that. You know, please like, share it. You know, I have some more videos that we're gonna stop and look at. You know, and then I'm gonna start coming in and share some things on what I know about, some things that I know about. You'll see. But thank you if you tuned in, and have a blessed day.